In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I made my villager breeder farm in my latest Cobblemon episode, and is super easy to build and is great for early game Minecraft. Let's get into it. Here is everything you need to be able to make this farm. We've got the villagers spawn eggs since I'm in creative mode, but you just need to grab at least 2 villagers from a village. I have a hoe. I'm using a wooden hoe, but you could use any type of hoe. A composter, some building blocks, you need some sort of slab. You also need at least 2 beds for the adult villagers, and a handful of beds for the baby villagers that they will spawn. You also need a crop. I think carrots work the best. I would avoid potatoes since poisonous potatoes can sometimes spawn, and that will actually deal damage to villagers if they eat them. And I don't know if villagers can convert wheat into bread, but I do know that farmer villagers end up planting their own wheat anyway. But I would definitely start with carrots so that they have carrots to get breeding faster with. And then have a water bucket or some sort of water source that you can use to make a farm. Now that we have everything, let's get building. Alright, so I'm just gonna come over here, break this block right there. I want to grab my water bucket. We're just going to put the water source in that little pit, and then we're just going to start a farm. It doesn't need to be the biggest farm ever, but you want to make sure that the villagers you put in here will have crops. Now we've got a pretty good farm right here, so we're just going to grab our carrot, or carrots, hopefully you have more than one, and you're just gonna plant a bunch of them all around the farm. Now, you don't necessarily have to fill the entire farm with crops, since villagers will plant their own crops over time, but you might as well get a lot of carrots from this as you're building it anyway. Now that we have our little farm, let's put the composter on top of the water source block. I'm gonna be hitting shift, and I'm going to look at this hitbox for this crop that I planted. I don't want to just place it in the water, otherwise it will destroy the water source. I want to place it on top of the water source. I'm going to shift and hit right click on that carrot crop right there, and that'll place the composter. Then I'm going to take my stone slab, hit shift again, and place it on top of the composter. You want to make sure you have a slab on top of the composter, that way villagers can't actually use the composter. Farmers will just start composting whatever crops they pick up instead of handing them to another villager. So you want to make sure it's blocked off so they can only hand their crops to help feed the other villager. Now that we have a farm built, I'm just going to place down a couple of beds. So now I'm going to build a small structure going around this entire farm. It's raining. No. How dare you rain in my tutorial video? Yeah, that's it. Get away, rain. Okay, sorry about that. Now that I built this just little fence structure to go around the farm, I'm gonna make a pit right here. Want the pit to be 2 blocks wide and 2 blocks deep. You'll want to get some more water buckets and just place them at the edge here, so that they flow all the way to the end. Now what I like to do at this point is also guide this water source down a little bit so the villagers don't end up right here. So I'm just going to break a few more blocks. Go down 1 more. Break these 2 blocks. That way the villagers get pushed along here. So I've just made another little ravine so that the villagers will fall in here, get pushed along, and go this way, and they'll try and get out this way. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that you do need trapdoors. Doesn't really matter what kind. And I'm going to place 3 trapdoors right here so that the villagers can't actually get out of this little stairway. And then you also need trapdoors along all of these edges of this ravine. This is so the baby villagers will pathfind to the other side and fall in. You can just close them so that they actually fall in. Now I'm going to make this fence a little bit taller. At least right there. And then I want to make a sort of beam that goes across these 2 posts right here. And then underneath of this beam, we want to put more trapdoors. We do this because villagers can't fit in a space that's less than 2 blocks tall. So this will mean that the adult villagers cannot get through and fall into this pit. However, the babies are small enough that they can get through and fall into this pit. The last thing we need to do before our farm is done is place a couple of beds on this side. This is so the 2 villagers in the farm know that there are enough beds to actually breed and spawn new villagers. And now we can come back over here, get 2 villagers. One of them already became a farmer, so they will start planting and harvesting crops and feeding with the other villager. Just to show that this farm works, I will go ahead and give these villagers a bunch of carrots. I meant to get more carrots in there. Actually, just give them some bread. I'm just going to give each of them a bunch of bread. They should share with each other. And then I'll make my way across here. And we can just watch as they pick them up. They should breed because they should be able to sense these beds right here. Looks like they're making love. This is taking a while. Hurry up, guys. There we go. Now there's the baby villager. And as you can see, this guy cannot get past these trapdoors right here. And eventually, the baby villager will make its way all the way over here to these beds. But it'll fall in here, get pushed along, and end up right here where it won't be able to get past the trapdoors. And that is how you can make a villager breeder. It's super easy, it doesn't take very many resources, and now you can have unlimited amounts of villagers at your home base. If you want to see this villager breeder in action, check out one of my previous videos, Cobblemon Episode 2, where I actually make a villager breeder and an iron farm and demonstrate how well they work. If you want to see more tutorials like this, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below what other tutorials you would love to see. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, farewell.